back with Retro Motorsports. So today we're working on something we usually don't take in, especially, in this case, it's an E60 M5. This is kind of a special circumstance. We don't usually look after these cars to kind of work with and tinker with. He came to us with this car and it had a no start condition. So dead in the water, it got towed to us. A lot of these cars have these problems. You can find them on YouTube. They have the same issue, won't start for some reason. And that's where we got this car. So we opened it up. We found a bunch of stuff in the trunk. Obviously, a lot of these cars have traded hands. We found some, plastics and stuff in the trunk. But we also found, typical of these cars, as you guys can see, there's nothing in there, but these are engine bearings. Look in here, you can find the old ones. We can only assume they're old because obviously they look pretty used. But, no start condition on a car, dead in the water, got towed in. Obviously, this isn't the best sign, so we have bearings in the trunk. The car's been taken apart. It's things that jump out of us, but we're doing basically a walk through the car showing you guys how our thought process was when we took it in. So obviously, we checked the battery. It's not a BMW battery, which on some newer BMWs, it's a big deal. This one, really the biggest issue is the IBS, which is the battery sensors. Everything's plugged in, the battery's charged. You guys see I have it on the tender, so that's out of the way. We don't have to worry about that. The next thing we moved on to was the fuses. It's a common issue on these cars to have a sunroof clog, and the clog will eventually cause a leak. So you have water from your sunroof coming in, and they'll get back here in the fuses, and then we'll show you in a little bit. We were trying to just find any indications of water coming in or any issues like that. Back here was good. We checked all the fuses checked out. And actually, it looks like someone came in and replaced a lot of these because a lot of them aren't OEM. So again, many hands have touched this, an indication that there might be a bigger problem. So we step around here to the vehicle, and right away we saw this in it. So this isn't a good indication because some of these are wet. It's obviously, back seats out, there's towels, there's probably water here at some point, which is really common on these cars. Again, you'll find a lot of documentation as far as that. So you can feel back here, you guys can't see anymore. Someone did dry it up. It's not super wet, but it is damp. It's a little moist. Good thing though, there's no standing water, so we don't really have to worry about that one. Moving to the front of the vehicle. So we actually had the cover off the, I guess you call it the E-box, the electrical box. And we found that there was a lot of things here that were not correctly put back. They were just not clipped in and just kind of hanging here. But nothing out of the ordinary. All the fuses checked out. The relays checked out, and all the power wires that went to relays and fuses, everything had continuity where it had to go, and we even went under the car and checked for continuity from the relay for the SMG pump to the relay here. Because if you guys don't know, one of the common problems on this, it won't start if the SMG pump doesn't have enough pressure. When it came in at first, we kind of did a little bit of a MacGyver job, just bypassed the pump, built some pressure, and we saw the car actually did crank. So at that point, we have a cranking car, but still no start. So next what we did is we took off the airbox, just the one airbox here. We took the coil pack and we tested for spark. Obviously, we weren't expecting because it's not starting, but we saw obviously what we thought was no spark. So no spark most likely also indicates no injector pulse. So from there, we obviously started thinking what takes away spark and what takes away injector pulse at the same time. It's most likely going to be something security or ECU related, SMG pump, or it's not in neutral basically. It doesn't know it's in neutral or park because all those things have to be correct for the car to start. On a normal car, we would follow these steps, and then there would be physical circuits and relays and stuff that we could check. And more often than not, we would end up having to do some kind of bypass or a software flash if it were an E36 or E46. This being a little bit newer, it requires the use of a program called ISTA. So I'm gonna step in the car and I'll show you guys a little bit what I'm talking about. All right, so we're in the car now. You can do this with any computer that's handheld and you can kind of get in here easily. And then we have this hooked up to an adapter. This is again, just because it's USB-C to USB. This is your normal, it's a CAN connector. So you can get these, wherever you buy your parts. They're very common. You use these to tune most BMWs. You guys might have one, but this is what you use to read from this car. The important thing to note is that when you purchase ISTA new from BMW, they no longer support the use of this cable, and they tell you that. But we were able to get an older version of ISTA and get it properly working. And as you guys know, this is how ISTA looks like. So we went through the diagnostic tree, correct? We went through the diagnostic tree and we saw that there was a couple modules that were yellow, which means they have faults. We went in, we cleared each one of them, and they actually went away and stayed away, which is a common issue because if you guys have ever tried to scan a BMW with a typical scanner, you'll scan the codes, you'll delete them, and sometimes they'll go away, but a lot of times with like a crank sensor issue on these new cars or a CAS system error, you won't be able to delete the hard code. So you need ISTA to come in here and physically delete the code from the ECU. So after that's done, we were able to go into the SMG, the tree you see here, and then we go to the ECU functions. It communicates, and we went to trigger, right? We went to trigger, general, and then we were actually able to see all of the options for the transmission. So we have the hydraulic pump that we can enable, the shift interlock, and even all the LEDs we can make happen just from this program. So this is really cool. We're getting somewhere here now. What we had to do to successfully get this car to start, we had the SMG pump bypassed. We built pressure around 40 PSI, and then the car cranked. The car didn't start at that point, but we got a little bit further. Now we deleted the codes and we went in, forced the transmission to be in neutral through the program. The shifter lit up with neutral, and then it let us start the car. Because this car is so interconnected, all the systems need to be cleared. The codes need to be cleared on each system, and each system needs to be communicating with one another for the cars to start. And then went to put it in neutral, and then now, if you guys see, when you start the car, it actually starts. It seems simple enough now, but this was a huge headache. The car did not want to do anything past basically this. It would, I don't have my foot on the pedal, but basically it would just that. You would hit the ignition switch and nothing would happen. It wasn't until I physically told the program to change the gear into neutral that it allowed me to turn the car on, even though the previous mechanic already shifted the transmission in neutral for transportation. Just keep that in mind, guys. You may be in this rabbit hole, as they call it. It is possible to get lucky with these kind of cars. Right now, our next step is going to be to take a test drive and see what systems continue to function and what may malfunction. But from here, we are able to start the car and move it around. So if you guys are having problems with your E60s, your E90s, anything newer, E's, F series, or you're going to need an eNet or router regardless. But for these series BMWs, get your hands on this software, which will be able to successfully diagnose your car, just like we were able to do here. I'm just glad that we're able to get this car back to the customer relatively soon after we fix these issues, and we can move on to more important things like doing a inspection, making sure the maintenance is up to date, and making sure that the customer continues to enjoy his car. That's it for now, guys. We'll show you more on this car as we get to it, but we'll see you then.
What's up, guys? Matt with Retro Motorsports USA here, and Fernie just tossed me the keys to this E60 M5. As you guys saw, it came in as a no start. Totally not our normal realm of cars that we play with. We play with the older stuff like the E30s, the E36 M3s, stuff like that. But for a close friend of ours, we decided to take a go at this. Obviously, we're gonna drive it now because it runs. We're gonna see how it is. I've never actually driven an E60 M5, so this is gonna be one of those meet the hero moments. See how it goes. I've heard a lot of good and a lot of bad from these. I know that the 6 speeds are very desirable. This is an SMG car, so we'll see how I like it. Alright, so my first impressions of this E60 M5 is that the Dove interior is pretty nice. I don't know if they call it Dove, but I'm gonna call it Dove. The headrest bolsters are pretty good. The seat bolsters are pretty good. When you shut the door, they give you a nice hug. I think it's got the active whatever, so that like when you go around a corner, it should do the same thing. So the SMG is literally just a electronically controlled manual transmission. So you kind of gotta behave with it and work with it. Kind of like falls on its face when it shifts. It might be normal, I don't know. Yeah. Feels pretty good though, no lights on the dash at all. Show that, Adrian. Show the viewers an E60 M5 with not a single light on the dash. Now that, honestly, with 147,000, kind of impressed. When Fernie told me that once he got it started, he said there's no lights on the dash, I was like, no way, there's no lights on the dash? Like, yeah, it starts, but no lights? Really? But yeah, no lights on the dash. I definitely hear a wheel bearing humming somewhere in the back. So by no means is this car done and complete and perfect, but it's running when it didn't. Another thing that makes this kind of an oddball transmission is I believe it's a 7-speed. I haven't been to 7th gear yet, so I'll let you guys know in a second. But if memory serves me right, the SMGs for these are a 7-speed gearbox, which is just oddball. I mean, shares that with what, like a C7 Z06 Corvette or something, right? Alright. Falls on its face in between shifting. It likes it better if I let off a little bit to shift. Okay. Maybe that's a me thing. Feels pretty good though. Very stable. I can feel some shaking up front, the steering wheel's off, the suspension's whatever, but besides that, the actual chassis feels pretty stable. Drop 2 gears. Yeah, it's pretty good. No, this thing drives pretty good. I'm a guy that doesn't really get into the modern stuff very much, and even though this is what? It's a 2007, so even though this is an 18-year-old car, which is crazy, it feels pretty modern compared to the E36s and stuff. I mean, the AC seats are great, the AC is great. All things considered, this thing's not bad. The heads-up display is pretty cool. The quality in here, I mean, it's E60 M5, you know, so all that stuff's pretty good. I think that these are a pretty good bang for the buck, but they're sure a risky investment. So if you're into these cars, I mean, just be careful. I'm not sure what we're going to do to this one beyond this. We got it running, which was the big thing. Now we're putting some miles on it just to make sure that we can keep it running, right? But beyond that, I'm not sure exactly what we'll be doing to it. You might see this one some more. Might just be get it running and send it on its way. We don't really deal with these too much. We're going to do a 30 roll, 30 to 60. There's 60. Okay, so she scoots. She does scoot. It's a fun car. I get it. So yeah, I hope this video helped someone out there. You probably shouldn't expect to see another one of these on our channel or this one very much anymore, but we really wanted to just share what we found with you guys because there wasn't a lot of content about it on the internet. So hopefully we can help somebody out. If you guys are into these cars, I don't know, we're not. But if you're into E30s, E36s, that type of stuff, check out some other content that we have both on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much any form of content. If you need any parts, contact us today. Thanks, guys. I will see you in the next one. Wait. 7th gear. It is a 7-speed. All right, guys. See ya.
Sunshine in my pocket, stepping through the street. Wake up smiling brightly, feel that summer heat. Dancing through the city, music in my veins. Heartbeat stick to rhythm, life just ain't the same. Bounce to the beat now, feel the vibe so sweet, wow. Hands up in the air, yeah. Let the music take you there. Midnight neon flashes, party's going strong. Bass drops turn up louder, sing our favorite songs. Every note is buzzing, echoes through